Good morning, dear friends. Today we are going to learn about chapter 6, kinds of sentences. Before understanding the kinds of sentences, let us understand what is a sentence. A sentence may be defined as a group of words that contains a subject and a predicate, and it expresses a complete thought. So in our previous video we have seen exactly what a subject and a predicate means and how a subject and predicate forms a complete sense, and because of which we come to know the exact thought of a complete sentence. So now we are going to understand what is a sentence by this example of a sentence, where we will understand how a sentence has a subject and a predicate in the sentence. So once again, see the definition. A sentence may be defined as a group of words that contains a subject and a predicate. So let us see this example. The baby is smiling. Here you can see the baby is subject and is smiling is a predicate. So you can, by reading this sentence, you understand a complete thought or understand it is a complete sentence. So therefore, it is called a sentence because it contains a subject and a predicate. Have you understood? So, from this example, we can see that sentence always has two things, subject and predicate, and it makes a complete sentence. So now let us see how these sentences are classified. They are classified into two ways, according to its use and according to its form. Now you must be wondering how it is, correct? So we will try to understand. First we will learn there are four types of the sentences. Which are those four types of sentences? Do you know? Try to guess. We already have learned in our 4th standard. So now let us try to understand the classification of sentences according to its use. Let us see. According to use, sentences are formed as declarative sentence, imperative sentences, interrogative sentences, and exclamatory sentences. So there are four types that we have already come to know and which we have learned in our previous standard. But here we are going to understand them in a proper manner with proper example. So what are declarative, imperative, interrogative, and exclamatory sentences? Okay? So get ready to understand what is a declarative sentence and what its exact meaning. Correct, dear students? So keep a notebook and a pen with you in order to make some notes. What is a declarative sentence? A declarative sentence is one which states or declares something, or one that states a fact. So here you can see that, okay, the sentence which states or declares something. Correct? So this is the simple definition of declarative sentence. If I say, he is my brother, correct? So I am declaring something, or I am stating something. Have you understood? Yeah. We'll try to understand this whole definition of a declarative sentence with a small example. Correct? So now let us see what is the example of declarative sentence. The example is here. The students are playing basketball. So here you can see it is making a complete sense, and it has also got the subject and predicate in it. Correct? So the students are playing basketball. So here we are declaring, we are stating. Correct? And it has also got a subject, that is the students, and its predicate is are playing basketball. So you understand what exactly it is. Correct? So declarative sentence, it is very simple. Correct? So you need to understand it has always got a subject and a predicate. Have you got it, my dear student? See again and try to understand it. Correct? So now let us see how we need to keep it in mind in order to understand a declarative sentence. In a declarative sentence, the subject usually comes before the verb. It starts with a capital letter and ends with a full stop. In writing, and a drop in pitch in speech. So let us try to understand. First of all, it has got a subject that always comes before the predicate. Correct? It starts with a capital letter and ends with a full stop. In writing, and a drop in pitch while we are talking. So now we will try to understand this whole declarative sentence. Correct? First of all, we need to remember it comes before predicate. Now let us see. The students are playing basketball. We have taken the same subject. So you can see the students, it's before the predicate. Correct? Are playing basketball is a predicate and the students is subject. It has already begun with the capital letter and has got a full stop at the end. So let us see when we say this sentence how it drops a pitch. The students are playing basketball. Correct? So you try to understand when we say it, it is in a different way, and when we write, we have to keep it in mind. It has to be in capital letter, the first letter, and at the end, full stop. Now let us learn the second kind of sentence, that is what is an imperative sentence. An imperative sentence is one which expresses a request, command, or an order. It is very simple. Imperative sentence. Correct? We have already learned in subject and predicate where the sentence comes without a subject. So you will understand in this. Correct? So it is a request, command, or an order. Correct? Last time we had learned in the previous video, for example, come here. Correct? So it is an order. But you see here there is no subject. Correct? So that we have already learned in our previous chapter that imperative sentences may have or may not have the subject. So let us understand with this example. Please give me a glass of water. So here we are trying to understand. Correct? It is a request by someone that he is asking for us water. So what is the proper way to ask? Please give me a glass of water. Correct? So here give me a glass of water. Correct? So you can see here it is the person is trying to request someone to give him a glass of water. So it is an imperative sentence. Correct? Understood? Very good. Now what is and how to use this imperative sentence? It starts with the capital letter again, ends with a period, that is a full stop. Generally the subject is not mentioned and only the predicate is expressed. As I have already told you, it begins with the capital letter and ends with a full stop, and it may have or may not have, correct, the subject. Have you got it? Imperative sentences are very easy to find out because it is a command or it is an order or it is an request. So keep it in mind, these things, whenever you come across an imperative sentence, correct, find out first whether it is a request or order or a command, and also find out if there is no subject, that means it has to be a imperative sentence. Now let us understand again with the example, same example. Please give me a glass of water. Here again it is a request. Correct? Here I don't think so there is a subject over here. Can you find a subject? Give me a glass of water. You can say a glass of water may be a subject. Correct? But it is not in all the cases I had seen you. I had told you. Correct? For example, come here, go there, sit down. Correct? Pack your bags. These are all examples that comes under the imperative sentence. Have you got it? Yes. So let us see some more example of imperative sentence where you will come to know there is no subject. Go to school, correct? Here there is a command or request or order you can find out, and there is no subject. Please close the door. Tell me who he is. Kindly lend me your book. Please call your sister. Correct? So these are the example of an imperative sentence where there is a command, where there is a request, and where there is a order. In some of the sentences you will notice that there is no subject. Got it? Try to look at these examples once again carefully, because it has already begun with the capital letters and there is a period, that is a full stop at the end of a sentence. Have a proper look at the words and the sentences so that we may not make any mistakes while solving the worksheet. Correct? So you can see now here there are various examples, that 5 types of examples that I have shown you. Now let us move on towards what is an interrogative sentence. An interrogative sentence is one that asks a question. It is a very simple which asks a question. The word may start with WH, or the sentence may start with WH, or with the helping verbs is, am, are, do, does, did, have, has, because here we are asking a question. Have you got it? It's very simple. Whenever we ask a question, that means it is an interrogative sentence. Let us understand with the example. Do you know that man? Here you see, at the end of a sentence, we have put a question mark. But here the question has not begun with WH, question. It has begun with do, because we can also form a simple question with the help of do, did, have, has, is, am, are. So it is a one kind of example that will help us to understand how to make an interrogative sentence. Correct? So let us try to understand more about interrogative sentence. An interrogative sentence usually begins with an asking word with the first letter in capital and always ends with a question mark. That is already I have told you. Correct? So it will begin with the capital letter. Correct? Asking the word with the first letter in capital and always ends with a question mark. Correct? If you remember the sentence which I had given you, it had begun with the capital letter, that is do. D was capital. And once the question was asked, we had put a question mark at the end of a sentence. So you can understand and keep it in mind what exactly is an interrogative sentence and how it has to be written and how it has to be asked. So let us see again the same example. Do you know that man? Correct? So but when we will ask, do you know that man? Correct? This is the proper way to ask a question. Sometimes what happens, we ask a question by saying, you know that man? This is wrong. Correct? We have to use the question form of a word. That is, do you know that man? Correct? So here you can see the word has already begun with the capital letter and there is a question mark. So let us see, these are the some more example. Do you know how to write a poem? Did the child eat his dinner? Why did you come late? Have you received my gift? Where do you live? See, you see here the sentence has begun with the capital letter. Some of them have begun with do and did and WH, question. So you can see here how to form a proper question, because it is very, very important. Most of the time I have noticed that we ask a wrong question by putting a wrong voice. Correct? Let us understand. You know how to write a poem? This is wrong. Correct? So you have to know, we have to ask a proper question. Do you know how to write a poem? Did the child eat his dinner? And so on. Now let us understand what is an exclamatory sentence. An exclamatory sentence is one which expresses a sudden or strong emotion or feeling such as happiness, sadness, anger, surprise, fear, or excitement. By reading this, you come to know what exactly is an exclamatory sentence. It is a sudden expression or strong emotion or feeling of such as happiness, sadness, anger, surprise, fear, or excitement. Correct? If I say, for example, hooray, I have won the match. So what kind of expression it is? It is an expression of happiness. So let us try to understand with this example. Help! A house is on fire. Correct? Now here you are trying to ask for help. So you are trying to plead for a help because it is showing your sad emotion. Correct? So we are saying, help! A house is on fire. Correct? So now you see here, the sentence has begun with the capital letter. There is an exclamation mark after your expression of that word help, and at the end of a sentence we have put a exclamation mark. Now try to understand this again. An exclamatory sentence cannot be single word. It usually begins with a capital letter and ends with an exclamation mark. Sometimes a period is used to lessen the force of the exclamation mark. So you see here, it cannot be a single word. It always begins or usually begins with capital letter and ends with an exclamation mark. Now sometimes the period is used to lessen the force, correct, of the exclamation mark, correct. Now let us try to understand this by reading by ourselves, correct, and surely I am going to explain you what this means, correct. So need to remember, it cannot be a single word. It usually begins with the capital letter and ends with an exclamation mark. Now let us see the following example in order to understand. This is the same example I have repeated. Help, our house is on fire. Correct? You can see here the expression. If somebody's house is on fire, you cannot say that person is very happy. Correct? Naturally the person will be sad, and the way he is saying it, it is showing his expression of sadness. Correct? Help! A house is on fire. So this is the proper way to pronounce or to say this word when we are expressing our sad emotion. Now let us see what are the other example. What a good dinner that was. Oh my God. Run for your life, Jose. Forgive me, mother. Ah, here comes his wife. Now you can see here there are various types of emotions we have seen here. First is very happy. Second is shocking. Oh my God. Oh my God. Run for your life, Jose. Forgive me, mother. It is sad. Correct? Here comes his wife. So you can see here how the exclamatory marks is trying to express its meaning towards to us. When we put an exclamation mark and the way the sentence is, correct? Whether it is a happy moment, whether it is a sad moment. So with the exclamatory kind of sentences, we come to know the expression of an individual. So let us take a test and try to understand, correct? Tell whether the following sentence is declarative, imperative, interrogative or exclamatory. In order to understand, I have written the answer as well. Are you aware of the appointment tomorrow? Surely it is an interrogative. Today is my birthday. It's a declarative sentence. So you can see here I have given the two examples, one of interrogative and one of is declarative. Try to understand how the sentences begin with the capital letter and the question mark, the second capital letter and the full stop. Give me a cup of coffee. So it is a request, therefore it is an imperative sentence. I hate you. It's an exclamatory. It is a sad kind of example or a sad expression, or it could be an anger also. So you see how the sentences begin with the capital letter and it's a full stop for the imperative, and for an exclamatory it is a exclamation mark. I have given this with the answers so that you will not have a problem to solve the exercise. Correct? Have you understood? Let us see another. Are you from Guyana? Correct? Here the pronunciation is Guyana. Correct? So it is an interrogative. Please close the door. Imperative. So you must be wondering what is Guyana is. It is the name of a city. Correct? So, or a country, you can find out for your general knowledge. So you see here our interrogative and imperative sentences that we have written. Thank you. I hope you have understood. So please solve the exercise which has been given to you on your WhatsApp number. Thank you and do well.